Good evening, Vinyl community. How's it going out there? I'm here to do another video. It'll be my last video for a couple of weeks, I think. Maybe, we'll see. I'm going on vacation, as I've said. But this will be for Steve Carlson, his contest, New Beginnings. I meant to do this, well, I'm trying to get it in before his contest ends. If you don't know Steve Carlson's channel, it's just one of my favorite channels. I always check him out. His weekly updates, his morning show. He's always got something different to show. He likes African music, which I, of course, love as well. He likes lots of cool stuff. So this contest is for him. It's a thank you that he's putting out there for all of the, wonderful sort of records and turntables and gear that he was given when he lost all of his records in a flood. And it was right around that time that I started watching VC videos again. I had years and years ago, I started by watching just a few people, Big Star 1000, Derek Higgins, a couple of other random ones. And I checked back in, started watching again right around the time Steve lost his collection. That's kind of where I picked up with him. So I just sent him some SCLT, as he calls it, because I've been meaning to do that. So here I am with the contest. Now this contest is basically, as I said, a thank you. He wants to sort of talk about 4 records. I think I have actually 6. I always go a little more, but this will be quick, I think. That were given to you or influenced by the VC that sort of sent you down a new path of collecting. That the recommendation is sort of, if not for that contact or that video or that friend or whatever, you might not have gone that direction. So that's what I have. I'm going to do that right now. I'm kind of playing with the theme a little bit, but a lot of mine have to do with being in record stores, My first one, this compilation called Cease and Desist DIY Cult Classics from the Post-Punk Era, 78 to 82. Now, this came out in 2014 or 15. Before this, I love punk, I love post-punk, but I kind of only had very minimal information on sort of all of the very much DIY and cult UK groups, and this group was recommended to me actually by a customer at Angry Mom. Was like, someone was looking for this. I'd sort of been familiar with it. It's on Optimo Music. I was just basically maybe familiar with it, but we ended up getting a copy, or a couple of copies, and I checked it out, and lo and behold, I loved it, and it sent me down a path. It comes with great liner notes, great insert, and it was easy. It was cheap. Go and Do It, which is a line out of a Desperate Bicycles record, the 45, which I've since found. It was easy and cheap. Go and do it. So lots of pretty key people were involved in putting this together. It talks all about the UK DIY post-punk, really spare groups, sparse groups, groups that recorded like one single, maybe a cassette even, sometimes an LP, usually not. But there's tons of great tracks on this. The Distributors, TV, Me, Visitors, Electric Heat. I have a bunch of these singles now. I mean, this was a seminal compilation for me, and going into that specific rabbit hole. And it comes from being in the record store and a customer. Customers can recommend to clerks too, and we don't know everything. I certainly don't. So that's kind of fun. But I will put samples in, since this is a Steve Carlson video. Samples, I got to do it. So I will put samples into this right now. I think this is still available if anyone's interested. Cease and Desist DIY.
I'm disgusted with the English race. I need to get away to a better land. Overseas and over the land. Wind up in a new and different place.
The next one was recommended to me by Angry Mom, or George, the owner. Now, he knew I liked African music, but I sort of hadn't gotten too deep into sort of the rural or ethnic sound, and that's where this comes in. Africa Dances, it's on the Authentic label. You can see it there. This includes some of my most just favorite African folk music, African rural music. There's a song by the palm wine guitarist Esirogi, who I've since come to love, and a song called Tumas Merime No Good, a wonderful song. My favorite song in this, and I don't have the 45 yet, but I will find it at some point. It's not too expensive. You have all different countries here, Tanzania and Mozambique, and it tells you a little bit about each song and where it comes from, of course. Pole Musa by Peter Sotsi from Kenya. In any case, this African Dances record got me down that path. And then I started collecting stuff on that authentic label, and more specifically these contemporary African music records, the series on original music, OMA. So I have a bunch of these now, and I just love trying to find these. You don't see these usually. You usually have to go to Europe to get these, but sometimes you get lucky and they hit the U.S. But this Africa Dances, I recommend this highly. Not too expensive. See if you can find that.
Musa nimevumilia sana, Musa nimevumilia sana, kupigwa pigwa kama mimi punda, na sura yangu imeharibika, na ngumi zako za kila siku Musa, tabu kweli Musa, uliponioa sura yangu haikuwa na alama hata moja. Ilikuwa
Pole Musa by Peter Sotsi. This one, I give props to Derek Higgins. I've been watching him for years. I watched him pretty heavily. I'm still watching him. During the pandemic, at the beginning, he sort of started talking about just some of his absolute favorite records, the one he pulls out often, and he pulled this out. Now, I've been familiar with Benny Maupin in various places, but I didn't have any records of his. And The Jewel and the Lotus, this is from 1974 on ECM. I'm not going to try to put in a sample of this. I've gotten lucky with ECM, so I'm not going to push my luck. This is just a wonderful cosmic meditative. This one just puts you straight. It's just like the way Derek described it. I have no idea which video it was, and he's talked about this many times, but I didn't have it obviously, but I didn't buy it on Discogs or eBay a week or two later, I swear. Maybe it was more, maybe it was a month or something. A friend of mine who's also comes in as a customer came in and sold a nice little pile of records, and this was there. I was like, I gotta, kismet, gotta take it. And it is incredible. And it has since set me down the path of looking deeper into ECM, which some of my other fellow VC members have helped me with. Previously, I wrote off a lot of ECM, so I'll call foul on myself on that one. I've been since, as you may have seen, getting and digging deeper into all the different various sort of phases of ECM and some of the cool records on the label. But Benny Maupin, The Jewel and the Lotus is an essential record now for me as well. So thank you, Derek. Here's something different. This is the Parsons Sound box set, Swedish, very experimental psychedelia, primarily led by Bo Anders Persson. I bought this when it came out in 2008 or 9, 2010 actually, on Subliminal Sounds out of Sweden. And this I learned about just after I lost my job with One Music Group, which was that year. I started working for a little while at a Brooklyn record store called Permanent Records, not Permanent Records Chicago or LA, a different one. And this was recommended to me there. This is not flower power psych. This is really noise, experimental, more coming from a composer's perspective. Bo Persson was in this group, and this is sort of all of their recordings. Bo Persson would end up doing Bo Anders Persson. Well, this gives you all of the different members in it. Stockholm 1967, Bo Anders Persson. Here he is. But like I said, this is really heavy duty stuff, and this is like the Swedish underground. I have since then gone into, this is when I'm my heyday of collecting psych. I've since amassed a nice little Swedish psych collection. I haven't listened to this in a long time. It's been a little while. I'll have to figure. I'd love to do a Swedish psych video, but this really put me down the path of collecting more avant-garde psychedelic rock or psychedelic music or experimental or avant-garde composers even. It's just called Parsons Sound. This has been repressed a whole bunch of times. I don't know where it's at right now, but it's great. 3 LP box on Subliminal Sounds. Some more for African. So I'm not sure which one of these came first. I have 2 here, but these are the records that set me down the path of collecting the Analog Africas, the Sound Waves, your Hot Casas, your all of the African labels, even PMG. And I think it was actually this Ghana Sounds. This is my original pressing of this on Soundway. To be honest, it must have been in Other Music, I think. Shopping there with one of my friends, and he sort of noticed it. And he didn't buy it, but I just started looking at it, and I took a chance with it. So, again, I'm sort of giving Other Music the credit here for featuring it. But this has got just, I think, some of these records now. I own a lot of these records, actually, now. But this just, like Because of Money, the Third Generation Band really got me on this. Mara Jata's on here. Ebo Taylor. The Sweet Talks. Kenneth Frimpong. Rob. Alex Kanadu. Really essential stuff. There's another volume of this. I don't have that. But this one, I think, got me down the road. And this might have been the second one, or might around the same time. Africa Scream Contest. I got this at Newberry Comics in one of the Boston area locations. My friend Jaron was like, "Oh, you should check that. I heard of this is awesome." He didn't buy it. I did. I'm really glad I did. This is the start of my deep foray into African music. I have one more. This one's sort of a special one, and I don't even know how this connects, frankly, but I wanted to just shout this out. Spiritualized Pure Phase. This is actually probably my favorite Spiritualized record. I absolutely love this. This is the plain reissue. I have a smattering of different... I have an original Laser Guided Melodies, UK, and then I have reissues of the other albums. CDs of, like, everything. But this record is important to me. This is, they were technically going by Spiritualized Electric Mainliner. This is about to get reissued, by the way, on Fat Possum with a remaster of some kind. But this is important to me because of a friend of ours who used to work at the store who passed away in 2019. He had a brain tumor. And this band and Spaceman 3 were like religion to him. So he was really good friends with my good friend at the store, Adam. But I was friends with him as well. Didn't know him as well, but we were definitely friends, and he was a super good dude. Really talented musician, funny, smart. But this was his copy of this, and it ended up in my hands. So it's an important record to me already, and it further solidified my love of Spiritualized and all things Spaceman 3. and everything that connects to those groups. So I'm just throwing this in there because I felt like it. It's a shout out to my friend Adam and my friend who passed away, Jeff. So that's what I got. Thank you, Steve. New Beginnings. I hope you have plenty more records come your way. It doesn't seem like that's a problem for you. So I'm glad that you're getting the good support that you deserve. And I hope you're doing well. I hope you're enjoying your vacation. And I hope everyone out there is doing great. Much to come in July. So you take care out there and be well. See ya.